What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers could potentially be without Anthony Davis for some time. At least at the time of recording this video, we don't have an exact timeline of how long Anthony Davis is going to miss. I mean, he might be back, as soon as next game against the Wizards, or maybe he just misses the Wizards game and is back for the next game. Who knows? Right? We'll see. Time will tell. But it's not really so much about Anthony Davis it's himself as much as like opportunity for some of these other guys, some of these other centers, right? Jackson Hayes, I've said it, like him as like your third big, fine, right? Him coming in, playing and giving you, like 7 to 10 minutes a night and just being that high energy, just hustle guy that's just willing to run the floor and play hard for, a handful of minutes, fine. But to rely on him heavily, and something that I've literally highlighted on numerous occasions is, you watch Jackson Hayes, the longer he plays and the more he's in a game, the worse he looks. And the more that, like, all of his little flaws start to really expose himself. Has he had games here and there where he's been really good? Of course, right? Like, you look at, like, the Boston game last season, right? When we didn't have LeBron and AD and Jackson Hayes looked like he was, like, prime Shaq in that game, right? Like, it's just, like, ridiculous. But for the most part, most nights, Jackson Hayes is somebody that you don't want to have to rely on as your main center, right? And if Anthony Davis does miss any significant time, you're going to have to figure something out. Now, you do have Christian Coloco, who I would prefer more than Christian Coloco. I still think he gives you the same stuff Jackson Hayes gives you. I still think he's a guy that, again, like, because he's a development guy, right? He was a development guy 2 years, his first 2 years, and then ended up missing the last 2 seasons, right? So, like, he's a guy that I think you're going to have to be patient with, but I still think he's a guy that you can slot in and it just gives you everything Jackson Hayes gives you, but better rim protection. Although, again, he still is, offbeat at times, right? He still is not quite the best disciplined on the defensive side of things, right? So, Jackson Hayes, Christian Coloco, two guys that personally I'd stay away from. Obviously, I'd love to have a center sooner rather than later. But until you pull off a center trade, because I do think the Lakers are still going to remain patient. I still think the Lakers don't rush, but who knows? Maybe while you're watching this video, right? Maybe a trade has happened. We'll see. Time will tell. But I do think that why not give Trey Jemison a real opportunity here, right? If Anthony Davis misses any time, and just in general, I think you should give Trey Jemison a looking opportunity, right? Because again, you brought him in for a reason. You literally waived Quincy Olivari off of a two-way to bring Trey Jemison in for a reason. And we saw him in one game, and I thought he looked really good in that one game in limited minutes. And then since then, you've basically given him nothing. Right? He played like 2 minutes in garbage time, like game or two ago. And it's just like, so then why did you bring him in? Why what's the point of doing what you did to just not play him at all? Right? They didn't even play him in garbage time last night. They played Coloco and they played Hayes all night. And, Coloco gave you in limited minutes, he played a total of 18 minutes. But in 18 minutes, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. To put that in perspective, Jackson Hayes played 19 minutes and gave you 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 blocks, right? He was a minus 19 and Coloco was a minus 7. But again, Trey Jemison, you're talking about a guy that's 6'11", 270, right? Known as a shot blocker, known as a rim protector. Like, the two things he is good at is rebounding and blocking shots. You're not going to be able to replace Anthony Davis. But a guy that can rebound and a guy that can block shots could go a long way. Why not start him and just see? Why not start him and just get a good look? Like, let him play 30 minutes and just see. Right? It can't be worse than having nobody out there. I mean, he's just a big physical center. And you just tell him, hey, Hulk smash, go out there, do your thing. And, look, if he fouls out or whatever, fine, good, so be it. At least he's trying, right? At least he's giving you the effort. But like Lakers seem to have this habit of like bringing guys in, right? Like even Koloko, it's like, and I understand you can only play the two-way guys so many games and stuff like that. Well, more of a reason why you should play Jemison over Koloko, right? Like, because you only have so many options, right? That or you like look at like a 10-day contract, but I'll talk about that more in it may be in a different video. But it's just I think you should give Trey Jemison a look, right? Isn't that why you brought him in? Because you were curious, you thought that he could be a guy that maybe could have an impact on this team and give you some size and physicality and just an interior presence, right? Give you some physicality on the interior. Again, I mean he's 270, right? Like if you ever had a time to need somebody like him, it would be right now, right? Like even if Anthony Davis does come back, right? You might want to like limit his minutes a little bit if you can, right? Like even if you're trying to bring him back, it'd be nice if you could kind of like, hey, let's get a presence. Maybe even try and experiment a little bit with Jemison at the 5 and then 80 at the 4. Right? They keep doing it with Jackson Hayes and stuff like that, but Jackson Hayes is just again, you can't rely on him too much. You can't rely on him too long. Give me a guy in a Trey Jemison who can slot in and just give you that size and that physicality, right? Like, give me a guy that I can count on to, at least bring the effort, but also just lay the boom, like, give me a guy that can just like add some physical presence on the interior. I look at it and I'm just like, man, he would be ideal. He would be great right now for what the Lakers need with the struggles that they're probably going to have if Anthony Davis misses any significant time or any significant minutes or anything like that. Now, again, hopefully nothing like that happens. Hopefully he's somebody that can just, come right back in and, Anthony Davis, that is, that he can come right back in like the Wizards game or something, or maybe he misses the Wizards game. But even then, even if, let's say it's just the Wizards game, right, that's still a good time to play Jemison. Right? Like, what does he look like against, Alexander Sarr and, a Jonas Valanciunas? Right? Like, what if you have your answer at the center position with Trey Jemison? Right? Like, and you don't need to go spend $20 million to go get a guy. Right? What if Jemison can be that guy? And just give you some solid minutes off the bench and give you some size and physicality. Who knows? I mean, he could be an absolute bum. I don't know. Right? He could be awful. We could have him play a couple games and just like, yeah, he ain't it. He's definitely not the answer. But how do we know if he doesn't get the opportunity? You can't tell how good or bad somebody is in 2 minutes of action in garbage time when you're just trying to get out of the game. Right? Like, there's no real organization. There's no real structure. There's no nothing. Right? You're literally just putting them out there and trying to, like, get the game over with as soon as possible. Right? Like, put Jemison out there and let's see. Let's see what he's got. Right? Isn't that why you brought these guys in? Isn't that why you brought a Christian Koloko in? Isn't that why you brought in a Trey Jemison? Didn't you bring these guys in to be, able to slot in and play these types of roles for you? And Jemison is a guy that, again, like, he gives you the real size and strength, and he's got some athleticism. And I made a whole video about how, like, he really looked like he was a wall. Like, that dude was just immovable, right? The guy was a tank on the interior, right? Like, and why not maximize that? But, bring out the tank, especially when you need it, right? Like, if you didn't need it, it's like, okay, maybe you're having a different conversation, but you genuinely need it, right? And it's just, I think you should give Jemison an opportunity. I think you should look to getting him, 30 minutes. Give him 30 minutes against the Wizards and let's see what he's got. If you were ever going to give a guy that you're unsure about an opportunity, it would be against the Wizards. You're talking the worst if he can't hold his own against the worst basketball team in basketball, right? Then you can't, then he's not ready. Right? If he's trash against the Wizards, then he's probably not going to be very good against any of the good teams. But if he's really good against the Wizards, and by really good, I don't necessarily mean he's going to go give us 20 and 20. But if he just like plays his role, he's really solid. He's physical. He gives us that interior presence. He rebounds the basketball. He defers a couple shots. I mean, the guy had like 3 blocks in like his first game, and then like just was responsible for deflecting like several others or deterring several others. Right? Like, give him a chance. See what he's got. At least that's my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass a question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle? Do you think like, yes, you got to give Jemison an opportunity. Let's see what he's got. Give him some run. Give him some burn. And what do you got to lose? Again, give me the tank, the 6'11", the 6'11", 270 guy. Give me that guy. And let's see what it goes. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Disagree? Mixed in the middle? I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.